Hello, everyone. This video is for anyone who does not believe in your own soul. If you believe that you have a soul and it is self-evident to you, then this video will probably have nothing of value for you, and I suggest you move on. My name is Rudy Davis, and I am a very simple man. I want to share some thoughts with you that have been literally keeping me up at night. These thoughts deal with the very foundation of who we are as human beings. These thoughts deal with the very core of good and evil. Now, as I said, I am a simple man. Interacting with others on YouTube has indeed been an enlightening experience. I am grateful for it. There are times in everyone's life where you are presented with new information or a new way of considering something, and it changes your view on the world forever. This is one of those times for me, and I feel obligated to share my thoughts with you. What I am going to tell you does not require a college degree. You will not need to consult science, religious books, the internet, or any philosophy to think about the idea that I want to convey to you. When you hear what I have to say, do not immediately go running to find other sources to discredit me. I am asking that you take some time to simply think about what you have heard and decide whether you agree with it or not. Now, in my search for truth, I have made 56 YouTube videos. A common theme running through all of them is the free will and independence of man. Now, some will claim that we all are products of our environment. I readily admit that the free will of man has been hammered into my consciousness by the good people that have made up my family, the community that I live in, and my coworkers and many others. This includes farmers, waitresses, truckers, carpenters, and small business owners. So if you want to claim that my upbringing has given me a bias towards believing in the free will of man, I will not debate you on that. I am asking that you judge the content of my message and not consider the qualifications of the messenger. As I said, I am a simple man, not a brilliant man. Now, as I stated in the beginning, this video is for people that have no belief in your own soul. My goal is to convince you that you do indeed have a soul. I want to be upfront with you on that, and I do not have any other hidden agenda. Yes, I do have personal religious beliefs, but that is not the focus of this video. Just please consider my message for your soul and not consider anything about the messenger. Now, recently in my search for truth, I was introduced to a philosophical concept called physicalism. This is indeed an ancient philosophical argument, but just because a concept is ancient does not imply it is not important in today's modern world. Please let me provide a definition of physicalism. Physicalism, the view that all that exists is ultimately physical. Now, that may sound like a harmless and unimportant concept, and why am I getting so serious about it? The human consequences of physicalism are so ominous and foreboding that it affects the very core of who we are. Let us consider the ramifications of physicalism. Physicalism states that every aspect of who we are as human beings is contained within the physical matter that composes our brain and our bodies. Yes, that matter in the brain is highly arranged, but it is just matter and chemical reactions and electrical impulses nonetheless. Physicalism implies that free will is a facade, and that man's mind is completely, with no exception, governed by external environmental stimulus and the arrangement of matter within the brain, i.e., neural pathways, chemical reactions, and electrical impulses. Now, we need to think very seriously about the ramifications of turning mankind into automatons, governed completely by material influences. If you reject the free will of man, then the purpose of life becomes meaningless. If the elite leaders of the world believe in physicalism, not only has this concept lowered the value of their own selves to a rock, but they have lowered the value of all mankind to a rock. If the elite leaders of the world reject their own free will and their own soul, then the destruction of mankind is not far away. Ideas are important. Belief systems are important. There are real-life consequences to the belief systems we hold as true. This all comes down to a final question. How do you know if physicalism is true or not? Have you ever heard of the famous philosophical statement by Descartes, "I think, therefore I am"? We are about to put that statement to the test, and you can do this sitting at your computer. You will not need to run to consult anyone of higher learning, and you will not need to refer to any material sources. Okay, here's the experiment. Please take this seriously. The results can determine the destiny of mankind. Please sit back in your chair. Now close your eyes. Think of a beautiful sunset. Now think of a purple blade of grass. Now think of your dog being shrunk to the size of a quarter and running around on top of your head. Now please think of any damn thing you want. Can't you realize that you are the being of free will? Now, that last thought that you generated on your own completely came from within your soul. It was not brought about by any external stimulus of the environment. You are a being of free will. You have the ability to think for yourself. You just generated your own thought with no external stimulus. I sincerely hope the little test above convinced you that you have free will. But I must share that when you get up from this computer and start researching this idea, you will come across many sources arguing against the free will of man. These people will once again try to corrupt your mind of this one simple fact, that you do indeed have free will. Now I want to provide you with some information to argue back with them, because this is a battle for the existence of your soul, and you need to be prepared. As far as I can tell, all the activities of man can be placed into three categories. Let's list them. Category A, focus of thought or desire that is originated from within the soul. An example would be the thought experiment you just performed. Love is another example of Category A. Category B, stimulus that originates externally that need attention from your soul. An example would be that you get hungry and you need to find something to eat. Category C, stimulus that originates externally and does not need attention from your soul. An example would be someone shines a light in your eyes and your pupils shrink. Now, activities that occurred in Category A and Category B engage the free will of your soul. Sometimes the activity originates from inside your soul, and sometimes it originates externally. There are limitations to the free will of man in this earthly world. Please don't confuse what I said to imply that you can fly like Superman. Now this video will end soon. I want you to know that I could care less how you rate it. I do not want anything from you except for you to value your own free will, and thus your own soul. I sincerely don't care what you think of me. I want you to value your own soul, because I think if you can at least do this one action, then the world will become a better place for me and my family. That is my only agenda. It is my sincere wish that when you move on from this video, you will give some serious contemplation to the existence of your own eternal soul. Thank you and God bless.